Maximum screen brightness turned as a fresh dividing line separating smartphone manufacturers last year. Apple started off boldly declaring the iPhone 15 could produce 2000 nits of brightness before Google raised the stakes with the 2400 nit Pixel 8 Pro. The S24 Ultra came in at 2600 nits this year, before Google got 3000 with the Pixel 9 Pro. Apple, meanwhile, remained with 2000 nits for the iPhone 16 Pro. Now, it seems Samsung may be following Google after all, despite an earlier rumor implying it wouldn't be progressing on this with the next S25 Ultra. Although Android Authority has been trying to extract out a few extra morsels from leaked files from an in-testing handset, there have been so many Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra leaks that we already know what the look of the handset will be like. The most fascinating of these is that, exactly like the Pixel 9 Pro, the S25 Ultra will supposedly be able to attain 3000 nits in high brightness mode. The piece really states lux, rather than nits, but considering the figures involved, that seems to be probably a typo. Although the ridiculous 4500 nits that OnePlus unveiled with the OnePlus 12 are still some distance off, it is rather beneficial for using the phone in bright, sunny surroundings. Another intriguing discovery from the leaks is that the S25 series will offer seamless /bup updates following a successful Galaxy A55 debut. This is a nice-to-have function whereby the phone will download crucial firmware updates in the background before running them on reboot, therefore saving you a long period in which your phone is turned on but useless. Not all the news is positive though. It appears that the S25 Ultra won't enable Find My Device capabilities when switched off like the Pixel 9, as the site found a string proclaiming "Rogue Bluetooth Finder supported" equals false. That means that if a burglar steals your phone and then promptly shuts it off, you won't be able to track its travels in real time. Elsewhere, the released files corroborate a few more nice-to-have elements. The screen will remain the same 3120 by 1440 resolution as the S24 Ultra, for example, and the battery will maintain its 5000 mAh capacity too. Excitingly, Android Authority's digging seems to establish that the phone will utilize UFS 4.0 storage for quicker file transfer speeds. We've all been waiting for crazy talk or cold hard facts. Remain with us as we unpack this epic tech showdown. Alright, let's get things off with the eye candy, how these pocket powerhouses look and feel. Both phones are rocking that premium titanium frame. So they're strong as nails. But Samsung's throwing us a curveball with the S25 Ultra. Basically, they've brought back some of those lovely curving edges we haven't seen in a while. It's not the dramatic waterfall screen of yesterday, but just enough to give it a sleeker look than the iPhone's boxier shape presently. Here's where things get interesting. Samsung's managed to trim down those bezels by a modest 0.2 millimeters. According to Ice Universe on X, I know it doesn't sound like much, but in the world of uber luxury smartphones, every fraction of a millimeter counts. It's all about those sleek lines and maximum screen real estate. Let's be honest. Give Samsung some big bragging rights. Speaking of screens, both of these displays are incredible stunners. We're looking at a 6.9-inch dynamic ammunition-led 2x screen on the S25 Ultra that can crank up to a retina burning 2600 nits of brightness. That's bright enough to use as a flashlight in a hurry. Apple's no slouch with its Ultra Retina XDR OLED, but it peaks out at approximately 2000 nits in actual world use. You might not notice the difference unless you're attempting to check Instagram while sunbathing on the beach. Color accuracy both are top-notch, but Samsung seems to favor those punchy, brilliant hues that really make photographs pop. Apple keeps things a bit more true to life, so it's essentially a matter of personal preference. So who comes out on top in the design department? It's a close call, but we're giving Samsung the edge here, those reduced bezels and the return of the modest curve. This just makes the S25 Ultra feel like a fresh, fascinating piece of electronics. It's not just trying to match Apple anymore, it's building out its own individual brand. And you know what? We're kind of digging it now. Let's go to the portion that's probably going to make or break the choice for a lot of you, the cameras. Both of these phones are packing some serious photography firepower. But Samsung's made some interesting moves with the S25 Ultra. First up, that mean photography, and Samsung continuing with their gigantic 200 megapixel sensor, which seems impressive on paper, but here's where it gets interesting. They've improved the ultra-wide to a hefty 50 megapixels. That's a considerable rise from the 12 megapixels on the S24 Ultra, and it means your wide-angle images are likely to be clearer and more detailed than ever. Apple's still flaunting their 48 megapixel primary sensor, which might sound less amazing, but megapixels aren't all. The iPhone 16 Pro Max computational photography is top-notch, and they've made some enhancements to low-light performance that are genuinely excellent. Now let's talk about the zoom. This is where Samsung typically held the edge, and they're not giving it up. The S25 Ultra's got a nifty new variable zoom technology. We're not completely sure how it works yet, but rumors claim it can easily transition between 4 to 5 times and 6 to 7 times zoom. That's going to be a game changer for video, letting you zoom in and out without that jarring switch between the lenses. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is no slouch in the zoom area with its 5 times optical zoom. But Samsung's pushing the boundaries here, and it shows if you're someone who loves to get up close and personal with your subjects without actually getting near. The S25 Ultra might be your new best friend. But it's not just about the hardware. Both phones are leaning hard in the AI-powered photography aspects. Samsung's been pushing their Galaxy AI fairly hard. We're hoping to see even more smart features in the S25 Extreme, stuff like clever scene recognition, improved night mode, and maybe even some nice new portrait lighting effects. So who comes out on top in the camera department? It's a tight choice, but we're giving Samsung a little edge here, since variable zoom and the enhanced ultra-wide are going to provide you more flexibility in your photographs. Plus, Samsung's AI features are truly starting to shine. Apple's still fantastic for point-and-shoot simplicity, but if you want the most versatile camera system available, the S25 Ultra is looking very enticing. Alright, let's speak about what's under the hood of these pocket rockets. Both the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 16 Pro Max are absolute powerhouses. However, Samsung's taken some interesting changes this time around. The S25 Ultra will running the Qualcomm's latest and greatest, the Snapdragon 8 Elite. We've seen some early benchmarks, and let's just say things are looking hot. We're talking about performance. That's neck and neck with Apple's an 18 Bionic chip. In fact, in some multi-core tests, the Snapdragon might even have a slight edge. But here's the kicker: Samsung's beefed up the RAM to a whopping 16 GB. That's 4 GB greater than the S24 Ultra and double what you'll find on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. For most people, 8 GB of RAM is adequate. But if you're a power user who likes to keep a million apps open, or you're into heavy multitasking, that extra RAM is going to make a noticeable difference now. Okay, now about the battery life. Both of these phones are amazing champs when it comes to endurance. The S25 Ultra is sticking with a big 5000 mAh battery, while the iPhone 16 Pro Max has a somewhat smaller cell. But don't let the stats deceive you. Apple's always been fantastic at optimizing power consumption. Charging speeds are where things become interesting. Samsung's still giving 45-watt quick charging, which can get you from 0 to 50% in around 30 minutes. Apple, well, they're still stuck at 20 watts. It's not slow by any means, but when you're paying this much for a phone, you'd expect top-of-the-line charging speeds. So who comes out on top in the performance department? It's tighter than ever, but we're handing Samsung the win here. That more RAM is likely to make a huge impact for power users, and the quicker charging speeds are simply icing on the cake. Apple's still wonderful. Don't get us wrong, but Samsung's really stepped up their game this time around. Now, let's get into the software side of things. This is where the rubber really hits the road in terms of your day-to-day experience with these phones, and boy, have both Samsung and Apple been busy in this sector. The S25 Ultra is operating on Android 15 with Samsung's One UI overlay on top. If you've used a Samsung phone previously, you'll experience right at home. Although they've made some modifications to make things even smoother and more intuitive, the personalization choices are off the charts. You may modify pretty about every aspect of the interface to your liking. The iPhone 16 Pro Max, of course, is running iOS 18. Apple's always been about that it simply works concept, and that's still true here. But they've been loosening up a bit in recent years, allowing consumers more flexibility over things like home screen widgets and default apps. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. AI. Both Samsung and Apple are going all in on AI features, but they're taking significantly different routes. Samsung's Galaxy AI is all about on-device processing. They're promising faster, more secure AI features that don't need to send your data to the cloud. We're talking about things like real-time translation during phone conversations, smart text suggestions, and even AI-driven photo editing. Apple's hardly slouching either. They've been beefing up Siri with some new tricks, and we're seeing more AI integration across the board in iOS. But they're adopting a more careful approach, focusing on privacy and making sure the AI elements they do introduce are rock solid. One area where Samsung might have an edge is in third-party AI integration. They've been working with businesses like Google to bring features like Circle to search to their phones. It's simple features like this that may make your phone feel that much smarter and more helpful in day-to-day use. So who comes out on top in the software department? It's a close call, but we're giving Samsung a slight lead here. The AI capabilities feel a bit more ambitious and integrated, and the amount of customization you get with One UI is hard to beat. Apple's still wonderful if you like a more polished, consistent experience. But Samsung's truly pushing the boundaries of what a smartphone can do. Alright, we've put these two titans through their paces. We've looked at design, display, cameras, performance, battery life, and software. So what's the verdict? Has Samsung finally dethroned Apple, or is the iPhone 16 Pro Max still king of the hill? Let us know in the comment box below. Also, here's the deal. It's closer than ever. Samsung's definitely stepped up their game with the S25 Ultra. The thinner design, the enhanced cameras, the performance bump, and all those AI features, it's evident. They're not comfortable with second place anymore. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.